Wait, I'm gonna make a drink.
Great start to the stream. I got my drink. Moonshine and milk.
I have a big ass glass of water, so I can talk.
I feel like that would not go well together.
It's vanilla coffee. Moonshine.
Oh, okay.
It's actually really fucking good. It's kind of like drinking melted shake.
Oh.
So, Jacob's making a drink.
Question.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do like on the steamboat over there?
Yeah, we'll have a brief, like, it won't be like a full development period, but I'll touch on it.
There is one thing I'm gonna do in my room.
Are you going to put on a mask?
Maybe.
Okay, that's fine. One thing I'm half expecting you guys to do at some point is hold down a cultist and put the mask on to him until he goes insane.
That's a great idea.
The torture method. That is definitely something I was kind of thinking about.
Go to the local elementary school, be like, hey kids, try on these masks.
Okay, not that. A mob
Right.
guy or something.
Alright.
Okay.
Am I good to restart the recording? Perfect.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, we will start on the night, like the morning that you guys are heading over to Prospero House to meet up with Kensington to touch base before you head off to England. All right?
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys are still staying at the Waldorf Astoria or if you guys have like really seen much of each other over the past few weeks, but we'll just start off with you meeting up at Kensington House unless there's something you guys want to do beforehand.
More therapy.
You're fine.
Yeah, can I vote to get my sanity just a tad bit higher?
You're
That's
fine.
I literally just want to squeak out as much sanity as I can so I can study magic
Gun training.
without suffering the repercussions.
Yeah, that's not how that works. So we'll start off with just you talking with Kensington, and he's saying, "All right, I've went through my correspondence with Elias, and I don't have much on London. A lot of what he said didn't make much sense to me. You've seen his writings, but he did mention at in London he spoke with the proprietor of a newspaper called The Scoop, Mickey Mahoney. It's I recommend when you get to London, you speak with him. He may be able to point you in the right direction. And as well as we all know, the Pennu Foundation was involved with the Carlisle expedition. Those are the two most likely leads we have. I'm going to send a stipend of some of the money over on the wire. Do you know where you'll be staying in London?
Are we
There is
close,
another Waldorf Astoria in London, by the way, if you want
are
to
we
stay
close to
there.
where I'm from or no?
Well,
Is it-
where's your character from? You haven't I imagine you have a house in London if your
Yeah.
father's
Yeah,
a
that's-
lord in Parliament.
Yeah, that's what my residence is listed as London, but I don't know.
So are you all just gonna have a sleepover at your house?
Yeah, I'm sure I have plenty of fucking rooms.
Okay. So he'll wire it over to some whatever bank, and that your character would probably say, and like your family bank, and just so you have extra money in case it's needed. Obviously,
Question for the DM really fast.
yes.
Do we know exactly what places Elias went to in what order? Like, do we know his trail of like where he went last before he went to New York to where he started at first? For anywhere he explored, or we just have his stuff.
Oh, let me double check that real quick. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't know. know the last place he was England for sure.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just looking for.
Can I go to Germany real quick and kill Hitler? Or Austria? It's probably in Austria this time frame.
It's 1925. I'm pretty sure he's in Germany right now.
He's already served, so
Yeah,
he can-
the Nazi Party is a thing right now. Like,
It's all begun.
yeah, he's already started his shenanigans.
Uh-oh.
they're just not really well.
We're like at the height of Weimar Germany, right before everything collapses and gets really bad.
This is when all the other countries just broke Germany to the fact with reparations to where the point we just made all the German citizens mad so that they listened to Hitler.
Yeah, it's literally
that's-
all our fault for World War II.
Yes,
Well, it's all Woodrow Wilson. It's all Woodrow Wilson's fault specifically. He should have known better.
I do agree that Woodrow Wilson is heavily to blame, but I feel like we can't not blame the French enough.
Well, okay. It was Woodrow Wilson's fault because he was basically the mediator and had the ability to decide this shit. And France and England were all like, Germany has to pay us. And he wanted everybody in his fancy little League of Nations club. So he was just like, okay, we'll make Germany pay for everything, even though he also knew that was a bad idea.
And then Woodrow Wilson spent his spare time dropping dynamite from airplanes onto black communities. It occupied a lot of his time.
And also pre-establishing, making sure that Vietnam was going to become a communist country in the future when he just...
Yes, that was important too.
All the stuff he did just fucked up.
As well as the Chinese.
Yep. Just a big old white nationalist.
You come for Call of Cthulhu, you stay for the politics.
Look, Woodrow Wilson is one of the worst presidents we've had.
He was just smart enough to be dangerous. And
Yeah, unlike Truman, who wasn't smart enough to be dangerous.
Yes, but think about it. We got Eisenhower out of it.
Ike
Eisenhower
Ike-
out of World War II.
Ike had the issue of being a good man with the most corrupt administration of all time around him, which is impressive because the Bush administration was a thing. Okay. I can't find exactly where he went, but if I recall right, he was at China, then England, and then back to New York. I can't remember what order he went to the other places in. Or he did not go to Australia yet.
He hadn't gone to Australia.
He had not gone to Australia. I believe he was planning on going there after he met up with you guys.
So we know he went to England and China last. The only other two places are Kenya and Egypt, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So we just don't know where he started. All right. That was just an aside note for thinking about how we were doing this, but
Okay. Anything else before you guys board the ocean liner and head across? By the way, Jacob, your mother said she's going to be hanging out with the English diplomat to the United States for a bit, and probably going to spend a week or a few more weeks in America, and parting with the Rockefellers to get some funding for some event your family wants to do. So she'll probably be heading back to England a week or so after you do.
sounds perfect to me.
She also tried to hook you, like, get you married off as well with like 7 different families while you were there.
Yep,
But-
sure she did.
What a
By
good
the
mom.
way, everywhere we go, I'm just holding this staff. Just so
You just have it on you. It's not that big. You could easily have it in your winter coat.
just carrying it around.
Add that to your items, just so I know you have it on you. I believe it's just called Carved Scepter. Yeah, it's like maybe 1.5 feet tall long.
I just want to imagine that he's always just holding it in his hand for no reason. Like it's not big enough to be a walking stick, but he's just holding it anyway.
Yeah. So, anyone else want to do anything before they hop on the steamer?
Nope, mine's better on the steamer.
The only thing I can think of is that she may tell her parents that she's in London or going to London.
Just to continue your studies, I take it.
Yeah, quote unquote, to continue my studies.
Yeah, I mean, are you an only child or do you have a bunch of siblings?
Oh, she's an only child.
Okay. Your parents are worried about you, but like they know your obsession with learning.
Mhm.
And they think, oh, she even got her own funding to go to Cambridge and Oxford to continue her studies. They want you to write frequently.
Okay.
I know Hardwood just left behind a bunch of broken prostitutes and some gambling debt when he left, so
He doesn't have any debt.
No, just a bunch of bastard children. That's all.
Just
Yeah, that
broken
he does.
prostitutes.
Fucking.
He does have a bunch of probably unconfirmed children.
He's also got gonorrhea currently.
damn.
How many bitches he fucking, dude?
He only
Simple
gets the
answer.
clean.
All of them.
Okay. So you guys are aboard a nice fancy ocean liner. It's gonna
Wow.
take you about
Is there a
week.
speakeasy on this liner?
Oh well, yeah. As soon as you leave U.S. waters, they bust out the booze. Yeah, they bust out the booze as soon as you leave. As soon as you leave U.S. international waters, they open up the champagne.
This shit wasn't going on in England at the time, right?
No. In England, gin. This is the time in England right after they had to raise the price of gin because too many people were getting absolutely like useless on gin.
Where
I
do
was
you
just
think
wondering-
Hardwood
I was just-
is money from? He's bringing it over from there.
Damn.
Well, I was just wondering mostly because I feel like everything that America did, Britain started doing like 5 years later, like 5 years earlier.
No. England never gave up their gin. I think there's debates going on right now whether they should get rid of their opium dens.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah, this is Peaky Blinder time.
so
That doesn't make me not feel like, without knowing exactly what's going on, I could imagine the Peaky Blinders are also just holding speakeasies. But
we are like at the time the Peaky Blinders were like actually there.
Yeah.
So Anna and Jacob, I know you two were reading books.
Yes.
Someone else was reading. Oh no, you
I have-
started. Who else was reading a book?
I
Me.
read a book, but I finished it.
Yeah, you finished Life as a God.
that was long.
I think
That was freaking long.
who was reading Africa's Dark Sex?
I think that was me.
I think you picked it up to read it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
You
I had to-
finished Amongst the Stones. That was a short one.
It
Yeah.
didn't really have any spells or whatever.
No. Okay, so Jacob, you are still reading the phonetic manuscripts, correct?
Yeah, unless I haven't.
No, you're reading Selections de Livron.
Yes, I'm reading Selections de Levon. She was reading phonetic manuscripts.
Okay. Are you still reading that while you're on the ship?
Yeah, I'm trying to power my way through that.
It's a lot of fucking reading.
Yeah, well, it's what I started. I brought this in myself.
Let's see here. I think you're ready for another spell.
Are we ready?
Hey, to be fair, I haven't tried to contact that god yet, but that's also because I just learned I could do it.
That is true.
I'm gonna Google this one real quick to make sure it's not a horrible idea.
I should
It's
probably
probably
read my book.
horrible. If you have to Google it, it's a horrible idea, and you should give it to him.
Was it Amongst the Stones? Yeah, that's the one I'm reading.
Yeah, because I started Selections de Levon, and Voss started with mnemonic manuscripts.
Yeah, but I quickly
Yeah.
read that one. Now I'm on Africa's Dark Sex.
Yeah, and Garrett picked up the.
I
top
picked,
one.
I picked up Life as a God, but I finished it in one sitting because I'm a fucking nerd.
I at this point just assume I picked up the longest fucking book that we currently have.
Mine's like all poems.
You did pick up the longest book that you have.
Well,
But also, it's like in another
gotten-
language.
I've gotten at least 2 spells from it already, so that's exactly what I was looking for when I picked from the 4 books at the time.
Okay, I added the spell you learned.
Where'd you add it?
It's just, if you look at your backstory, you'll see a spell listed. And Anna, are you still? What
Me?
book are you reading while on the boat?
Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I assume you're reading every night on the boat.
Oh, absolutely. It's what she does before bed. If she goes to bed, that is.
Yeah. So you're reading Africa's Dark Sex or the Phonetic Manuscripts?
I believe I already finished the manuscripts. I'm pretty sure I'm out on Africa's Dark Sex.
No,
now.
you've not finished the manuscripts. There's still plenty of reading.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think you just picked up Dark Sex of Africa because it was new. Like you.
Yeah, you wanted to give it a look through because it was new.
Yeah,
That's what it
so
was.
I'm gonna go up to Voss and ask her if I can read Africa's Dark Sex then, since she's currently reading a different book.
Boss kind. I want to say she kind of looked at him a little bit before grudgingly giving up the book, and says, but also says, "Please take care of that. I would like to read that after you."
I am a scholar. Of course, I'm going to take good care of the book.
Is Clifford in this room right now?
I don't know. Are you?
Do you want to be in the room?
Yeah, I want to be in the room. Because Clifford's
What?
gonna say in response to that, he's like, "You're also a drunk."
Drunk comes second, though. As I'm taking a big, long swig of gin.
I'm
wanna
just saying, you've almost shot us. So I don't want to discredit the fact that you also, even though you don't want to ruin this book, you may pour that gin all over the pages.
No.
We-
I never ruin a book. Never.
Boss is just gonna look at him and just go, "Have your sea leg?
Say that again?
Do you have your sea legs?"
Depends on who you ask. It's not my first time on a sea.
I
Hmm.
don't know that I like the response. It depends on who you ask. Does that mean some people say you don't have your sea legs?
Well, I mean, compared to a sailor, perhaps I don't.
Look, just don't
Nonetheless,
ruin the book. We all want to read it.
nonetheless, whatever you find, let us know.
Cross my heart,
And if
hope to die, I won't ruin the book.
once you're done with your book, if you already are, I would also like to read it, please.
Okay. Before we deal with the sanity loss of Garrett McCarty opening the book, Anna, you don't learn any new spells in your reading, but you do gather that your contact the mind of the observer that you learned and that you spoke with someone from that race is something to do with a people called Yith, or a race of people called the Yith.
Okay.
And they were always referred to as the Great Race of Yith. Yith.
Okay.
Okay, are you reading this book, McCarty?
Oh, of course I am.
Okay, 1d10 sanity damage.
Ugh! Great way to start the session, ladies and gents.
What is your sanity right now?
4. My current sanity.
You got good sanity back last time, didn't you? 73.
Yeah, it's at 69. Nice. Is that a
Nice.
crit sanity?
I'm literally at fucking 60 right now, so I'm
Okay.
bordering on the edge.
So, yeah, you over your time on the ship, you won't learn any magical spells from it. But You
Even-
do
even with my
read
speed
a
reading.
good chunk of the book. Even with your speed reading, you'll need a bit more time with it. But now that, does anyone else want to do anything on the ocean liner?
Yeah.
About the week you're on there?
Yes.
And I
Okay. What are you doing, Hardwood?
So Hardwood's going to also be reading his book.
Amongst the Stones?
Yes.
Do you finish it? Which means you get a bit more mythos.
All right. Also, while he's reading this book, at one point, like while they were all talking about, the books and whatever, Hardwood was just in his room, smoking a cigar, staring at the masks.
oh boy.
And then he looked at the mask of the golden mask.
Okay.
Football.
So he's just smoking a cigar, just like staring at him. And then he's just like, after reading the books, he's like, I have to know. And he wipes the oil off the back of the mirror, the mask.
Are you looking
look-
into it?
Yes.
Okay. Roll a power roll.
A power?
Yes, we're all going fucking insane.
Everybody but Voss, because she's a bitch.
Well, hey, he actually has the most sanity right now. Hardwood does. He's got like fucking max sanity.
Private ass roll.
Until after this
Under
roll.
What'd you say?
71 under 75.
Questionable. We didn't see it.
Right?
Oh, it's not on there?
Yeah, you
No, you
have
made
it
it
on.
private.
Oh, what?
I can verify it. It's 71.
I
All
will
right.
change that. But yes, it was a regular success.
Okay.
Does he see anything?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
And
I
see,
would-
here's the thing. He had max sanity.
Okay, make a sanity roll as well. While I tell you this vision. You see yourself sitting on a train, looking out the window and seeing the sweeping vistas of the African plains passing by. The sun's starting to set. It's like a beautiful, picturesque landscape. You take 1d3 sanity damage.
Oh,
so
that's
I have
it?
a d6.
Lame.
And as you like
One.
as you look out the window,
God.
you start to smell a strong smoke. Like it starts off faintly, then it smells like you're standing in like right next to a bonfire. And as that smell of smoke builds up, you just hear the sound of people screaming in terror and panic around you.
Okay. Was this like, does it like remind him of like the gas attacks? Or is it,
This reminds you of flamethrowers.
okay.
Like after you take, like after you come free from the vision, you do have a brief, PTSD flare up about, Germans with Flammenwerfers werfing the Flammen at you.
All right.
Hardwood, not Hardwood. Clifford, you wanted to do something as well?
I want to go somewhere there are no people around. Like if I can find somewhere private.
Okay, so the non-smoking section.
Yeah, there we go. And I want to try out this new spell and see if I can see what it does. Or if I can gauge anything while I do it.
What a fucking madman.
Dude, we're. I mean, we're all.
At this point, we are the cultists.
We kind of are.
I mean,
We're
We're
just a
just not-
different cult. We're just a rival cult. We're not the good guys. We're just a rival cult.
We're
not
like
wrong.
neutral.
1 sec, I was expecting you to cast a spell right now. That's
No, it's
on
kind
me.
of like if you look at Circle Jerk Madness, are they actually good guys?
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Ask Raphael. He's an expert on how good of guys they are.
really good guys. We've done more harm than good half the time.
Here's the thing. I feel like most of our characters actually don't want to be bad guys or are just indifferent to what's going on. But every single place that we go into, Raphael or Yeet start shit. Or that one time it was also why can I not think of his name? The other
Branadol?
Dragonborn. No, the other Dragonborn.
Mushu?
Mushu. Yeah, Mushu going to just start shit with that cult or that other group of mercenaries.
Yeah, that is true.
I
And then we
mean,
just end up like, all right, well, I guess we're destroying a town halfway through.
Grenadier just was like, if this is what we're doing, all right, burn
The
it down.
the rest of us just end up along for the ride. We're just like, all right, well, Raphael's decided to start a riot.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's keep
Right?
I found what I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay, first off, lose a D10.
Lose a D10?
Oh, of sanity, yes.
All right.
Reasonable start.
You're practicing devil magic.
Fun. Ooh, I got a 1 on that.
Nice.
Clutch.
Question. Well, I guess it depends on what the spell does.
Okay, so, let's see. Oh my god, this thing's fucking huge. Okay, let's see. Let's just say you lose a magic point, but you'll gain that back unless you're planning on doing more magic on the fucking boat.
Okay.
But you notice a shimmering sphere around you. That's like, it just looks kind of like the heat off a pot, like the air is just slightly shimmering.
Yeah.
And you notice when you create the barrier, there was like a bird sitting like on the railing, kind of not far from you. And when the barrier was created, it kind of just pushed the bird off the boat.
Just almost like a wind.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
actually like physically pushed it. Like it this spell will provide you a physical and magical defense.
Huh.
It takes a minute to cast. And it lasts 1d4 hours.
1d4 hours. So I would have to roll that.
Yeah.
2 questions for the DM.
Yes.
Can I understand through doing this spell one time? 1, will I lose sanity every time I try and cast it?
Yes.
Or is it just so I do understand I will.
Yes. It like casting magic eats away at your sanity.
Okay. Can I cast it on other people and provide them a barrier?
Yes, you could. In fact, you know that the more people you try to protect with this barrier, you can protect. You gauge that you can expend more of your ability to extend the barrier even further.
for a cost of more sanity, or would it be a one cast of the spell and I could just expend more magic?
It would be a cost of more magic.
Okay.
You can extend the barrier and make it stronger with more magic.
Cool. All right, then if I can, I also want to try and contact Nodin.
Oh
you're just
boy.
fucking-
You're just going all for it.
We haven't reached England yet. Calm down. We need you. We need your influence and your money.
I didn't live 42 years to chicken out now.
We need you and your money.
Okay. Take 1d6 sanity damage.
Yeah, of course.
At least you got a 1 on the last one.
4 on that one.
Not great, but could have been worse.
Okay, you temporarily lose 5 power.
Magic power.
No.
Oh, you mean actual power. Got it. Sorry. Misunderstood.
Actual power. So your power is now 60. And now you need to make a power roll.
You got this.
59 under 60.
Yeah.
Dude, by the skin of your fucking teeth.
Well, actually, no. You feel yourself reaching out, but it just doesn't work.
I don't get anything from this.
You don't get anything from it.
Good.
All right.
That's some
If he-
shit you need during combat when we're getting fucked up.
Okay, so anyone else want to do anything on the ship? You can put on more masks, Hardwood.
How many nights would this be?
7 days on the ship.
So can we keep reading?
Yeah, I basically calculated that you guys were reading in your spare time on the ship.
Okay.
Say he did it one more night.
The golden one or the other one?
The
You have 2 masks.
So wait, what? He knows what
You know what we've learned from it? I contacted some kind of figure, and so did Anna contacted somebody too, right?
Yes.
With the black one. But that one scared her a little bit more. Mine was relatively tame. I just saw it, and then that was it. That one talked to her, didn't it? The gold one we saw like events. One of which didn't it come true?
Wasn't there one? The only one I remember vaguely was the mountaintop where people were kind of indulging in a bunch of carnival.
Yeah. You had the mountain murder orgy. You had the.
There was also the
Lord of Maggots bursting from the temple in Peru.
Yeah.
There was an image of you guys walking into the basement of the Juju house.
Yeah.
Then there was the image on the train, and then there was another image of a house that smelled like reptiles with horrible paintings.
So the gold one essentially potentially could tell us the future, although we've also gotten just 2 visions. We've had the mountain orgy, and we've had basically it told us what was going to happen kind of in Peru. Except we stopped that, I'm assuming.
Sounds like it.
We can assume that, right? The mountaintop, we don't know if that's going to come to fruition or not, but the rest of it showed us visions of things that we potentially could see happening in our future as we continue to explore.
And with the other one,
The black one, I have that. That's what I just did. I tried to contact that figure again. I didn't make contact, but Anna saw something even worse or something more dangerous, I suppose.
Yeah, I
And
saw a god. And it made me pretty much damn near piss myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the golden one just because Harwood would feel like it'd be too much of a risk to put the other one on by himself.
I mean, you could have someone help you.
yeah, you could just tell us that you're going to try this mask out right now. You want to see what else we see. We think it's worthwhile.
During this like boat ride.
Yeah. We're all on the boat though. We can all like go to each other's rooms.
But he's just doing this, while you guys like are off doing other things.
All right.
When you guys were all talking about the book, that was one of the times he did it.
Right.
So
The rest
are
of
you not putting? Are you putting on the gold one then?
Yes.
Okay,
So what was this?
a power roll.
$69 under 75.
Quick question: are we all counting 69 as like the highest success?
Yeah.
Yes.
massive crit.
Okay.
Dude, you got a nice 69.
That's great. Okay. Fuck. Take a 1d3. Well, take a roll sanity check for me real quick.
All right. Let's see. Ooh, 93 at 93. Just passed.
Okay, so that's 1d3 sanity.
Wow. Lucky.
D4. Are we just rounding down or halving?
So,
Or should I do a D6?
yeah, do a d6 and then like split it in half.
Okay, 3. So would that be 3 or
What would that be, 2?
2?
I think that'd be 2 typically.
Okay. We would just round it. Okay.
Well, do we round it down or when we have a 6? I always assumed it was 1, 2 is 1, 3, 4 is 2, and 5, 6 is 3.
However you guys want to factor it, as long as you're being honest.
Well, okay, how do we want to do this?
Because I don't know how you
I
have
think
3. It's either
So I think it should just be half rounded down, like what we do in D&D.
Yeah, because I always figured 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is 1, 2, 3, like respectively.
So then a 3 would be 1.
Yes.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
just want to make sure, I did it right or whatever. Because I was, yeah, okay. So 1, I took 1.
okay. First off, you see a series of endless, like you feel suffocating stale air. You're like in a stone like tunnel. It's dark, like that kind of dark where you're like in a basement with no lights on. Like there is no light source. The air is suffocating and stale. Like you can feel yourself barely breathing.
So like he was in one of the tunnels.
And you just hear roaring and screaming and crying of various animals and beasts, and you can't place them, and they sound like they're from all around you.
But I wouldn't know, like, what kind of animal.
You couldn't place any of them.
Pretty much everything all at once.
And something else happens.
So,
So, as like that, like the noises fade and the air becomes more breathable, you hear a voice that sounds like it's coming from like every direction and inside you, and it's like such a high reverberation, like it hurts. You don't see anything, but you hear this, and you just hear three words which you've heard before. Um, the words you hear are fools, mortals, dust. And then you're like shocked back to reality.
oh,
Okay.
If you're curious where you heard those words before, you are instantly reminded of when Augustus Larkin made that turn and just completely shifted in personality. Those were the first words that came out of his mouth.
Fuck.
that was when we
That was back in Peru.
fought the cockroach, wasn't it?
Well, you mostly fought McCarty, yes.
That too. Oh,
Shit. That's not in here, is it? In any of the poems? Is this all the poems from that book?
Yeah, all the ones worth mentioning.
Okay.
So anyone else want to do anything on this boat ride?
Okay, so
no, probably not. Not worth mentioning, guys.
Okay, so everyone make a nice, fun little sanity roll.
Oh,
Why?
Because I said so.
I already did
We need-
sanity things.
we need to do a section for just the dreams.
47 below 55.
12 below
This was same-
69.
Roll.
12 under 88.
45 under 92.
So no one failed?
No.
We had some critical successes.
You all managed to enjoy the boat ride, and it's a nice, relaxing experience, especially after what you encountered in New York. And I'll give you all one sanity as a little treat.
Man, therapy did me well.
You got rid of the bad vapors by spending some time by the sea.
Even though we all did things that harmed our sanity.
Hey, we got out with minimal sanity loss and we're closer to solving this. Can't get to the truth without going a little crazy.
Actually, I only have
Those who are
one.
sane are blind. That's my motto.
Sip, you rode along the White Star Line ocean liner. I take it you splurged for first class accommodations.
Yeah.
We're not
You-
peasants.
Unfortunately, we were on the Titanic.
You arrive in Southampton on February 11th. It's cold and it's gross because it's England. Clifford feels relieved, and so does Bacardi, of being back in cold, gross England. So, it's a half-day train ride from Southampton to London.
Well, I'm gonna read some more.
Okay, it's not enough for you guys to make any significant progress in the books. Because I don't know if I've said this before, but it's not like reading a normal book. There's coded language in it. There's all sorts of ancient and archaic dialects. There's obvious contradictions and falsehoods. And so, like, for every page you read, you leave like 5 pages of notes in a notebook.
Mm.
And you're cross-referencing that constantly. It's not like it's just reading a book, you know? Like,
You actually have to go into it.
yeah, it's serious study. Like, there's a lot of knowledge in there. Half of it's false, a quarter of it's hidden, and then a quarter of it's mundane.
Mm.
It's like reading old why can't I think of Pyri? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, and like you have to remember, like all these mythos books, half of it is just insane rambling. Like absolutely insane rambling and little nuggets of truth sprinkled in. So it's hard work to read these things.
It's like reading the what
You ever heard of
Jackson-
House of Leaves?
No.
I recommend the book if anyone's looking for a nice little. It's 100% straight Call of Cthulhu Delta Green style stuff. If you want a good book to read, yeah, buy a physical copy. It's the best way to do it. House of Leaves. If you want to know what it's about a house that's bigger on the inside than the outside.
Makes
So,
I will say, however, is it long enough for Hardwood? Well, I would say it's long enough for Hardwood to like kind of tell the others what he saw in the masks.
did you mention the voice you heard?
No, it's the only thing
Okay.
he'll say that he won't make any specifics about the voice, but he'll say that he heard, you know, those words spoken.
Okay. So Clifford would remember that he heard the same thing when he put on the mask for the first time.
Mhm.
So, let's say you arrive in England. It's later in the afternoon, and you go to Jacob's family house there. And upon going to the door, your like family butler opens up the door, Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the other serving staff who are standing to be attentive to anyone's needs. And he's like, Master Clifford, you return. It's been so long since you've come back home. And I see you've brought guests.
I'm trying to think what this guy's name's gonna be.
Hardwood's gonna ask if there's any maids.
Yeah, there's
Hold on. I'm gonna.
Hold on.
Hardwood can't talk yet. I'm talking to my butler.
Okay.
Sebastian.
Oh, Sebastian's a pretty good one.
That is a good one.
All right, we're gonna go with Sebastian.
Okay.
Yes, Sebastian, it's good to be back home. These are my guests. Please make sure that they have first-rate accommodations. Keep Hardwood away from all of the women.
He nods and snaps his fingers, and you see two maids run off and start preparing the rooms. And he's like, "Shall I prepare you tea?"
Yes, please. Would anybody else like tea?
Can I have some gin?
Oh.
We'll get to the gin later. Tea first.
You're right. You're right. I've been away from home for too long.
Time for
Some
afternoon
tea.
tea. And the house is beautiful, immaculate. It's like one of those townhomes, like right in London proper. like right in the heart of the city. It's immaculately decorated. It's much smaller than the average U.S. home, but it's still like large and spacious. Like not the average, but like the very nice U.S. homes. Like it's much smaller than the Carlisle estates, but this is like obviously like the downtown London flat for um, business in London. So
we have enough. We have enough space for everybody to have their own room.
yeah, there's enough space for everyone to have their own room. And there's and your butler mentions that your father is currently on safari in Africa. Because why would he be in cold, oppressive England when he could be in Africa on safari?
Did he say what country he was going to?
Oh, yes, I believe he was heading to South Africa.
South Africa. Very good. Well,
he's slated to be back next week, I believe, along with your mother.
Well, perfect. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to catch up with both of them. Once the rooms are prepared for my guests, please show them to the sitting room. We'll drink a tea, and then for all of you, we can take a few minutes, get acquainted with the premise, and you guys can rest for the day, and in the evening we can get together and figure out our next steps.
Okay, Hardwood, make a luck roll.
Where's that at? Oh. Come on. Hell yeah. Critical success, 13 under 55.
Upon hearing that your room's ready, you go up there and you do bump into a fairly attractive maid who's just leaving your room after getting it ready.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
If you give one of my maids gonorrhea, I'm going to kill you.
Harwood ain't going to make any promises. He's not going to admit to it either.
If my maid has gonorrhea or chlamydia, I'm going to kill you. So you better make sure that she doesn't sleep with anybody while you're here.
Who says the maid doesn't already have syphilis and won't give it to him?
Well, that's going to be his problem if she does. If she's got syphilis.
That's a critical success. This girl's clean.
Well, no, I mean, she's not just going to sleep with you and fall right into your arm, but she gives you some eyes as you bump into her and she walks on out and apologizes and like bows. But yeah, that's what that role gave you, okay?
What else do I need to get?
Does anyone want to do anything else before they head on over to Fleet Street for the to go see Mickey Mahoney at the Scoop?
We're going to ask where the good bars are at nearby.
I think there's pubs everywhere. It's England.
Yes,
I think you guys aren't going to head to the Scoop today. You'd head to the next day.
Yeah, I figured we would get together. We would just get together in the evening because we have that one as a potential go-to,
as well as the Penhue Foundation.
We have the Penhue Foundation. I don't know if I shared with McCarty what happened with the Penhue Foundation during my, in between New York and Peru, because basically they brought a mummy, and somebody stole a pendant off of it and ran off.
Yeah, it was a mummy opening party.
Is that something I wouldn't know about that, right?
No, you weren't involved with that.
Right,
you weren't there,
but would I have heavy enough ties within the archaeological community to hear about it at least?
I mean, if you wanted to, you could dig into it and find out about it. It's not like it's like a secret or something. It's just it was one of those fancy parties just for the rich to open up the mummy. You probably could have gone if you wanted to, but you were probably dealing with university stuff, or you might have been on an expedition.
I would say I was probably on an expedition when it happened, and I wouldn't have went even if I could have. But I did hear
your character is very familiar with the Penhue Foundation. They sponsor plenty of expeditions into Egypt and surrounding areas.
Right.
So your character knows about the Penhue Foundation.
Does he know about the pendant though? That was stolen.
Yes, I know of the situation that happened. I know that it was stolen, but I don't necessarily know that you were there or all of the other details. Unless you tell me.
Yeah, so I figured that's something I would cover why we meet in the evening. I figure we meet in my home in the evening on like a whatever the hell they call those rooms, the drawing room or whatever the fuck it is. Where we can meet over drinks and discuss
The cigar
the
room.
Penhue Foundation and everything else in England. Because yeah, we won't go anywhere today. I figure we're exhausted from our travel.
That's what I was saying.
And this evening we would just get together, let everybody rest in the room, and then talk about, all right, what do we want to do tomorrow, first and foremost.
All right.
And we can go to the pub, but I already have plenty of alcohol available here, Hardwood.
Hardwood
He's
just
going
wants
for
to
the-
go for the women.
It's just you and the women right now, bro.
He was looking into maps during the ride over. That's not to say he didn't get with like one or two.
Dude. He's a horn dog.
Like I said, he's probably got more than one child he does not know about.
And at least 3 venereal diseases.
What is with you guys on the diseases?
That's what happens when you just sleep with everybody you meet.
Yeah, I mean, he probably does have one or two.
Bro's
Especially
probably-
back then.
Bro at least has chlamydia. You got the clap, bro.
Yeah,
Ugh,
probably.
probably.
Hardwood doesn't care.
Dorian
the
gave
thing-
up his skirt chasing days early on. Now he's obsessed with this, now, especially now that he knows about magic.
I'm gonna die soon, anyways.
You're
That's how-
31.
It's not about that. It's about the Cthulhu shit.
You don't know that you're gonna die.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
I said, with everything he's been through, McCarty has tried to kill him twice.
Doesn't
So
mean you
you're
can
just-
give my maid's chlamydia. Give it to some other streetwalker.
He doesn't care.
dude, at this point is the fucking bard. Whatever has anything, he just wants to go right for it.
He's not-
Okay. So,
Is that, he's just looking at things. He's like, does that have a hole?
are you guys heading off to the scoop in the morning?
Well,
Yeah.
so do we want to go to the scoop? I assume we do want
Or
to
the
go to
Penhue
scoop.
Foundation?
I was gonna say I would say that we would go to the scoop in the morning just because we literally just got back from traveling.
Do we want to go right in the morning, though?
Probably
Well,
would have.
then
Not
do we want to
necessarily.
split up? Do we want to consider splitting up, or should we just all go? Because we could also have some people start digging into the Penhue Foundation or visiting. Now, I'll say, the last time I was there, I was not particularly welcome to be asking them questions about the Carlisle expedition. I didn't
It's
really want
gonna-
to talk about it, but
Okay, there's like any like library we could go to and look at old newspapers.
Well, I mean, yes, but the scoop is literally a.
a newspaper, they're gonna have the stories.
Yeah,
I was gonna say if anything else, Boss would go to the scoop at the very least.
Hardwood would too because he would want to do like a library.
Okay. So you're all heading to the scoop?
I guess so.
Okay,
Yeah.
before you all head there, can someone give me a. Well, everyone just give me a spot hidden roll.
Mine's pretty decent.
Mine was
Oh,
not. I don't know if that's a crit fail. 99 over 63.
I
It
passed.
is.
I passed with a 30 under 45.
Okay.
I failed with an 80 over 60.
Oh, I get an 87 over 52.
Okay, so here's what happened. Clifford trips over his own 2 feet and like falls on his ass. Voss and Hardwood don't see anything. When you're like a block or so away from the scoop, you notice McCarty notices a sign for a local fortune teller, and you also notice like right as you're walking by, and you also notice the woman who you assume to be the proprietor of the establishment is in the window staring at all of you.
Probably fucking cursed me and caused me to trip on my own 2 feet.
The gypsy curse.
Hey guys, check this this woman. She's kind of eye fucking us pretty hard.
Now that you look closer at her,
Is eye fucking a term we're allowed to use in 1925?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Probably not.
You,
What? So is it the next day?
yeah,
Yes, this is.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought we just kind of glossed over that part.
she has a slight frame, ginger hair, very pale, and she wears like an old-fashioned Victorian dress, like covered in pink ribbons. And like, are you guys looking at her?
I
I would.
I kind of go don't look at her, but she's kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies, kind of like some of the past characters we've ran into that causes problems.
I do some kind of check.
I just want to know if she's attractive or just creepy looking.
She's attractive.
I was just only going for like trying to like subtly look over my shoulder and kind of gauge. Since McCarty's had
Make psychology checks.
Psychology?
Yeah.
Fuck.
2 under 10!
71 over 42 for Harwood. Harwood's not doing too well with this.
I see nothing. I just think she's just a normal lady.
Okay, so Clifford, with his impeccable sense for what women want for some reason, as knows that she seems down to earth and decent, but from what he can tell, she really wants to talk with you guys.
I did get a 50 at 52.
You can just tell that she's not like, she doesn't have the eyes of someone who wants to murder you and eat your skin, which is an improvement over some of the people you've met recently.
That is true. You never know.
And Clifford, you get the feeling that she really wants to speak with you guys.
So Clifford's going to walk over to her really fast and talk with her. He's also going to attempt to charm her.
Yeah. So you're going to open the door to the establishment and walk in?
Yep.
Okay. She is going to say, sir, you and your friends, there's something, I'm, as you know from my, from the signage, I have a gift, a bit of a psychic. I see something with you four, and I'm willing to give you all a free reading.
Well, I couldn't take a free reading from you. I could very well pay for it. I wouldn't mind that. But let me call my friends over.
How's it?
I'll just call the rest of them over and say, hey, she feels like she's got something important to tell us, so I feel like it's worthwhile.
You know, with all this heebie-jeebie shit that we've ran into recently, I might just believe what she got to say now.
If you would have talked to me 2 weeks prior, would have passed on this and maybe thought it was just all fun and games, but now seems like need to listen to her. Oh, I can. Oh.
Wood doesn't trust her, but he's gonna go along.
Hardwood's just mad because I tried to charm her first.
No, Hardwood wants to see if does he like spot anything walking into the building?
It looks like any generic psychic's house you've been in. A lot of candles. You can smell the scent of incense. If you make a spot hidden roll, I'll tell you you don't see anything out of the ordinary.
Oh, I was just making one. Doesn't matter.
Critical fail, dude. Come on.
Well, it's good.
You walk into a wall. And it really fucking hurts your nose.
Damn.
Not only do you walk into a wall, it's very clear that you walked into this wall because you were staring at her ass when she bent over to grab something. And everyone's aware of it, and it's super awkward.
Obviously,
Hardwood doesn't.
Clifford is laughing right now because he saw it happen.
Hardwood's like, it happens.
Good job
This
getting that fail out right now.
He has not felt or like he's done this before,
Of course,
and he's not.
Did I get to do my
It's
charm
definitely
roll?
a big old fucking laugh right now.
Clifford just laughed out loud. He didn't give a shit. He thought it was hilarious.
So
I
you
would
guys,
just say, boss, you think I haven't looked at yours?
She's just going to pretend she never heard that, and she's going to continue on to the nice fortune teller lady. You had something to tell us, miss?
she offers your reading. Are you guys willing to do a reading?
At this
Yeah.
point,
Might as well.
yeah, for sure.
But Clifford is paying for it.
All right.
And Hardwood's going to look to see if like he ever feels like she's lying.
Okay.
But that I feel would be, later. If you want to just make one roll for it, or
No.
Fucking put it.
We'll do this. So I don't have a picture of her, otherwise I'd give it to you guys. So she dims the lights, lights a bunch of candles, lights some incense. She mentions how she purchased the incense from Chinese merchants. And you all sit around a circular table, and she asks you all to hold hands. And she holds hands with you guys.
question: who's holding whose hands, or does it not matter?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. What was that? I don't like that. Is that good or bad?
Want us to see your roll, Zach?
No, you guys don't have to roll anything.
No, we can see your rolls.
I know you can see me roll.
I don't know if I like that or not.
So she starts, she closes her eyes and starts chanting something under her breath. And she very clearly falls into a trance, and she starts rocking back and forth in her chair, and her breathing becomes labored. And at some point, you see her mouth turn into like a grimace. And okay. So she, after like a few seconds of this. She she opens her mouth, and the voice that comes out wasn't the voice that you guys heard from her. In fact, you recognize the voice. And the voice you recognize is of Jackson Elias.
God damn it. I knew it.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
And
Jackson.
her eyes are still closed, and she's kind of looking around the room at all of you. And you hear Jackson Elias's voice, and it goes, "I don't suppose you know where my pipe is, do you? I can't seem to find the damn thing anywhere." And then there's, like, obviously you guys are all shocked at this. Like, I don't think any of you honestly expected it to work.
Not really, no.
No.
Not in the
In fact,
And
it
then-
makes like a seance.
And then she looks at McCarty, and you hear Jackson Elias's voice, and he says, "The clock is ticking. You're running out of time." Then she looks over to Clifford and says, what does he say? "It never stops once it's started, and it never works. Not ever. I see that now." And then you see her twitch and shudder. And you hear another voice you guys recognize. The voice of Augustus Larkin.
Oh.
And he looks at Voss and says, "Thank you. Thank you for doing what must have been done." And then she snaps and looks at Hardwood, and you hear another voice that you recognize of Silas Naquani.
Oh.
And like her eyes are still closed, and her face turns into a grin, and you hear, "Good prices for good customers, eh?" And then, like, she kind of slumps over a little bit. All you guys are freaked the fuck out by this. Like, I'm not making any sanity rolls yet.
There be any Cthulhu we can
Um,
roll
So,
or cult?
maybe in a minute.
All right.
So then, as she's laying there, like, slumped over for, like, what seems like forever, she snaps back up, stiff as a board. Her eyes open, and there's no pupil in her eyes. They're, like, completely rolled back in her head. And her neck, like, cranes back, like she's trying to turn her head around. Like, it's to the point where you can tell it's physically painful, and someone shouldn't be able to do that. And then it snaps back and looks at all you, and you hear a voice that two of you recognize. That would be Hardwood and Clifford. And you hear those three words again: "Fools, mortals, dust." But then it continues speaking and says, "The four of you tried to take my mask in Peru and in New York. The wheels already started turning. You can't stop what's been done. insects trying to interfere with things far greater than them. At that moment, the neck snaps, not like snaps, but like shoots to the other side in the same manner. She lets go of your hands, and her head shoots up, and you hear her start screaming, like painful, horrible screaming, as she alights in flame.
What the fuck?
What?
And that's where we'll end the session today.
What the
God damn.
What in the motherfuck just happened?
We're ending the session here?
We're only an
Yeah.
hour in. What the fuck?
Fine, we'll keep going.
What? No.
We made more progress than I thought.
Okay.
Zach's
hey,
really
hey,
mad because this
hey,
was his perfect stopping point.
If GM says it's time to end, I've been there as a GM. It's all right.
It's the good time to end because anything else will be a lot more like
Take some time.
Yeah, because once you guys deal with the consequences of this, and then go to the newspaper place, talk with him, you guys are going to want to go explore one of the leads that he gives you.
Oh boy.
Like, it's way more climactic to end on this.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I got shit I can work on for next week then. Have a good night, everybody.